Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day, and it's a bit of a rant, this one, given all the noise that's going on right now, certainly around Alexander Isak and Newcastle United, and it's all about PSR. PSR is working for the Premier League. We know PSR was brought in to do exactly what it's doing at Newcastle United right now: strangle them, stifle them, suffocate them, stop them from reaching for the brass ring, stop them from leapfrogging the normal, traditional Big Six cartel clubs at the Premier League, do everything they possibly can to satisfy and please. These are the same teams, by the way, who are going to fuck off and join the Super League, and only because of the fan backlash and the likes of Sky and TNT getting on board with that, did that whole thing subside. But the whole thing with PSR, the Isak thing, has just brought it to light once again. You know, I was talking to a good mate of mine the other day who's a Leeds United fan, and Leeds are coming up, Sunderland are coming up, they're all coming up. What chance have they really got? What chance have they really got to stay in the Premier League? They can barely spend on players. They can barely buy players without breaching PSR. Look what happened to Forest. Look what happened to Leicester. You know, it's designed to stitch up teams coming up. But more importantly, the PSR and FFP rulings, we all know, even Kieran Maguire, who I've had on the channel, top bloke, he said it himself, that the Premier League brought in these rules to stop another Manchester City, to stop another Chelsea. And Chelsea and Manchester City are firmly under the covers now in that Big Six kind of clique of elite clubs. And the rest of the clubs can only get to a certain point and can go no further. And it's a fucking joke. It really is. I was watching True Geordie on the kickoff earlier on today, and it really inspired me to get on and do this video as well, because they had a good chat about it. And the big man was on great form. He was getting right into it and talking about this exact thing as well. The likes of Newcastle and Aston Villa, they go and they try and reach the brass ring, they get in the Champions League, they go and sign players, they scout players that the Big Six sleep on and don't fucking get anywhere near. And then what happens? They get to a point where they can't add any more quality. They can't pay their players what their players are worth now. They're Champions League players, now they're Premier League stars. And then what happens? The greedy six comes swooping in like a bunch of rich fucking vultures in Lamborghinis and take your best players off you. It's an absolute fucking joke. It really is. This Premier League is the most corrupt league in the entire world. It really is. There's no doubt about it whatsoever in my mind. This whole thing has been stitched up so the six clubs excel and the rest of the clubs are just there to make the numbers up. I was listening to, I think it was Josh who was on with True Geordie. No disrespect to Josh. He had a take which I could not disagree with more if I fucking tried. He basically said what the clubs are going to do is go out and try and find young players, sign them, build them up and make them great players, which I do agree with, and then sell them on to the Big Six cartel clubs. I mean, what the fuck is that about, really? So, say Lewis Miley's a great example, right? We get Lewis Miley from fucking 8 years old or something like that, put him through the ranks in Newcastle, invest time and effort in him, get good coaches to train him and make him this great player, give him his Premier League debut, watch him tear the Premier League, and then what do? Sell him to fucking Liverpool for 60 million quid, pure profit, to invest in the team, and you go and buy yourself three £20 million players, and you don't get much of £20 million these days as a football club. It's an absolute disgrace. It really, really is. We're in a situation right now, as Newcastle fans, we all remember what happened when PIF bought the club. The Premier League tried to stop that, by the way. Jurgen Klopp and the rest of the shitbags that were involved in it all tried to put a stop to it because they were scared the Saudi Arabians were going to come in and do exactly what Manchester City's owners did and blow them out the fucking water yet again. So they did their best to stop it, and this is what PSR and FFP are all about. We are now in a situation where we took a risk on a player in Alexander Isak for 60-odd million quid from Real Sociedad that Arsenal looked at and passed on, that Manchester United probably looked at and passed on, that Liverpool looked at and passed on. We signed him. We brought him into the Premier League. Under this manager, he's excelled. He's turned into one of the best centre-forwards in the world. We have the richest owners on the fucking planet, and we can't afford to pay this guy 300 grand a week because we'll breach some PSR bullshit. What the fuck is that about? Really? Is that the world that we're living in? Our owners, as the big man said on the kickoff, they could buy and sell Liverpool tomorrow for a pound and not give a fuck. They could lose 400 million quid on the back of a sofa and not care. That's how rich these people are, but they cannot spend the money. And sooner or later, they will get bored of all of these games. They will get bored of all of these closed doors. They've already arguably are bored. You know, they're more interested in pushing the Saudi Pro League. I mean, talks about Isak going to Saudi would be fucking mental. It really would. But talks him going to Liverpool's even worse. You're strengthening a competitor You know, he could retain the league for them. He could score hat-tricks against Newcastle. I'll tell you what, if he does come back to St James's Park in a red shirt, he'll get booed the fuck out the ground. And rightly so. If I'm there, I'll boo my arse off. And I hope Joe Linton clatters the fucker and nails him if he's in a red shirt for Liverpool. I really do. But how can we be in this situation as a football club? It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgraceful. I'm telling you right now, if Manchester United had been bought by PIF, there's no fucking way these restrictions would have been put in place. Manchester United would have been buying Mbappe and fucking Neymar and Donnarumma and all these other players. They'd be winning the leagues and they wouldn't give a fuck. They would praise them to the hilt. The transformative owners, you know, the new stadium, the new training ground, the sponsors, the new players. They'd be licking their arses left, right and centre, but because they bought little old Newcastle, let's stop them from letting that club become what City became, what Chelsea became. It absolutely stinks of shit. And I can't believe the bollocks I'm reading. Even some of our own fans have bought into this shit. Well, you know, if we sell Isak for 150 million quid and we can reinvest and sort the squad out. Can you hear yourselves? Talking about selling our best player, man. What the fuck is that about? How can we be number one, as Big Yas said, if we're selling our best player, one of the best centre forwards in the world, outside of Haaland and Mbappe? I tell you what he can do, Big Yas, if he sells Alexander Isak and doesn't reinvest in the squad. He can take that Newcastle line jacket and shove it up his arse is what he can fucking do, because we want some action from these owners. We don't want bullshit words and slogans and fucking sound bites. We want action. We want you to sort this club out right from the top, because there's no fucker upstairs whatsoever. There's nobody to get a grip of this by the nuts and sort it out. Eddie Howe's having to do everything on his own, because you can't keep a sporting director, because you keep hiring mates rather than people who are right for the job. We can't sign any fucking players. By looks, we've got one player in Anthony Elanga, and fair fucks to him. He wanted to come to the football club, probably wanted to play with Eddie Howe, probably want to play with Alexander Isak. He'll be a bit pissed right now. You know, that's what about Lincoln Gordon away from the football club. The only saving grace in amongst all of this is links to Wissa and now Šeško. And if you get them two in, if Isak does leave the football club, or probably when at this rate, at least we're not as weak. If we've got Wissa and Šeško in the squad, at least we're not as bad up front, you know, without those players. Because if you lose Isak and you don't get anybody in, you get a Calvert-Lewin or something, I don't care how much Kool-Aid there is, it's not going to cut the mustard. It really, really isn't. But the whole reason for this rant was just the state of PSR and FFP. Don't buy into it, fans of other clubs, any clubs, Newcastle or any clubs. Don't buy into it. It's a way to keep a foot on your throat. It's not a way to make sure you're financially stable. It's not a way to make sure you don't do another Portsmouth. It's a way to keep them lot up there above you and keep you fucking down there where you belong as a feeder club for these rich, greedy cartel bastards. And it needs to be exposed. For me, Newcastle United, if you want to be number one, yes, you're on a fucking head-on collision course with the Premier League to breach PSR, because you cannot sign these players, retain these players, keep them, the greedy six, away from these players by playing by their rules, because their rules are designed for you to struggle to grow, not to grow. They're keeping you down. They're not building you up. And that's what you need to do. You need to grow. So you need to sign these players, keep these players, pay them what they're worth, and stop other clubs buying them off you if you want to grow. You don't sell the best centre forward in the world and grow as a football club. You regress. There's no doubt about that. This is the situation Newcastle are in because of this bullshit rule. They can't sit around and wait for the Man City court case, because the Premier League will kick that right down the fucking road for as long as humanly possible, so they don't have to punish City and possibly lose Pep Guardiola or Erling Haaland from their product portfolio, because they're marketable names in the Premier League. They don't want to do that. So Newcastle, PIF, if you're watching, you cannot wait for that court case. You need to do something about this, and do something about this now. And if you are going to sell Isak, Šeško and Wissa are the first two fucking names you bring through the door. But you need to get a hold of this and stop this happening again. Stop your star players getting rattled, because if you don't do something about it, Bruno will be next, Tonali will be after that, Botman will be after that. They'll all want to go. And then this whole project turns to shit very quickly in the palm of your hands. But let us know in the comments below what you think about the bullshit PSR rule. Do you think the same as me? This is working for the Premier League. It's strangling all the other clubs. Any other clubs, fans that aren't Newcastle fans, Villa fans, you know, Forest fans, tell me what you think. Is it doing the same thing to you lot? Because I'm sick to the back teeth of it. Somebody needs to take these fuckers to court and challenge this ruling, because it's an anti-competitive ruling. It should be illegal. It really should. It needs to be challenged in a court of law by lawyers. Newcastle get lawyers. Forest get lawyers. Everton get lawyers. Everybody else get lawyers. Stop voting in favour of these stupid rules. Put the Premier League against the wall. Fuck them. They only care about them top six clubs. They don't give a fuck about you. Let's put these lot against the wall and stop these things happening again, because PSR is killing Newcastle and killing other clubs as well. This is such an uncompetitive league because of this bullshit rule. It needs to be sorted out. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. We'll be back with some more content soon, hopefully more positive content. We don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Isaac, but we'll be back live on Monday to talk about this. Make sure you jump in the chat. Let us know what you guys think. Have a belter. We'll see you later.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.